Good morning and welcome to my Cloffice. I hope that you are well this morning. Today is part 2 of sacrifice versus obedience. Now, yesterday we talked about, the purpose and our destiny and if we want to fulfill that, and how we do that is by loving God. And how we love God is we follow his commands. And so we need to love God. We need to follow his ways and seek his face. And I encouraged you, we talked about Cain and Abel, and I encouraged you, don't be like Cain. He tried to surprise God with like a better sacrifice than what he was commanded to do. And then when it didn't work out for him, he allowed anger and hatred and eventually murder to get in the way. Now, just in case you're wondering, there is no room for hatred and murder in the whole pleasing God thing. There's just not room for that. God wants us to love and to be happy for others and their greatness. My friend Mary sent me this quote the other day that said, "Real queens fix others' crowns." And that is so true. Real great people lift others up to greatness and allow others and their greatness to show. But you were created for greatness. You were created with a purpose and with a destiny. And to fulfill it, because sometimes we worry, how am I going to fulfill it? All you need to do is keep your eyes on Jesus and walk closely with him. Now, I was reading Galatians 6:9, and it talked about don't be weary in well-doing. And then there's a similar verse in 2 Thessalonians 3:13, never tire of doing what is good. Now, at first glance, when I looked at those verses, I thought that it kind of meant don't get tired or burnt out. Just keep helping, keep serving, keep sacrificing, keep doing. Well, that feels overwhelming. That's feels so huge and unreachable. Just keep sacrificing for God over and over and over. So then I remembered Jesus said, the poor you will always have with you. He also said, my yoke is easy, but my burden is light. Jesus only did what he saw the Father doing. There were times that he walked past cripples and sick people without even helping them. Now, it's important that you hear this. We need to help the needy. We need to be loving and kind and compassionate and serve. And that's really important. But it should not rule our lives. Our lives should not be so full of that we don't have time to obey God first and see what he wants us to do. And that's to spend time with him and to love him and to hear from him. So that brings me back to these verses. And they feel confusing. And anytime anything from the Bible feels confusing or contradicting, we probably haven't understood it properly. Actually, you haven't. If you're confused and you feel something contradicts something else in the Bible, you haven't got it right, because the Bible explains itself. So I went back and did a word study of these verses to actually back to their original text or original language to see what did these verses actually mean and what can I get out of them and be encouraged and see how this all fits together. And I am going to share that with you tomorrow for part 3 of sacrifice versus obedience. So today, I encourage you to walk closely with the Lord. Allow him to show you what he wants you to do, to love him and love others. And we will tune in tomorrow to hear the final part on what this looks like to not get tired and doing what is good. Have an amazing day, and God bless.